Tony was saying that he thinks that this is the most complete lineup in the SEC. It feels like we've been asking you all season, but why is that so especially now?
We just foul off pitches. We just fight you. We get your pitch count up, and we do a good job. We just battle, and it starts with Davalan at the top. I mean, his first at bat, kind of like the whole game, man. If it was 6-7 pitches, he gets hit. And it just we're just hard to get out, and that's what I see, and it takes a little time, a lot of times, and especially the last 5 games. I mean, that's what we've done. We've gotten pitchers' pitch counts up big time, and gotten just enough hits. I mean, we didn't have a great day today. We had a good lead because of. We worked some walks, and we got a fly ball that blew out of the park and got some separation. But even on a day where we're not hitting line drives all over the field, we still have a chance to score.
Were you surprised they lifted Doyle a little early in the game?
What did he throw? 72 pitches or so, 73. I figured he would go maybe 90, and I think that they saw that, maybe he was laboring a little bit. You never know what's going on in the dugout over there. I mean, you got to give him credit. He pitched last Friday, pitched on Monday, threw 30 more pitches, so he threw, 140 pitches in 4 days, got 5 days rest, and here he is trying to save their season for him. A lot of stress. It's hot. I think they did a nice job taking care of him.
You've been going to Omaha, quite a bit in your career, and obviously the emotions today. I mean, is it something special about this group of players? Is it, what you mentioned, the home defeats the past couple of years?
Yeah, I've said this all year that this is a special group. I mean, these guys have fun. They get along. They're fun to coach. They're fun to be around. I mean, they got some personality, and a lawyer who doesn't talk a whole lot, next thing you know is he's leading the train up through the stands. So I don't know. I mean, that's what that's what you get. It would have been hard for me. This good a team didn't get to Omaha without winning a championship somewhere. They didn't win a trophy. They didn't get a ring. They didn't get the SEC championship. They didn't get the tournament championship. I mean, if we'd have lost this series, it'd have been like, that's the best team that didn't do anything here. And now it's one of the best teams that's ever come through here. You never know how it's going to go from here, but they're down to the Final 8, and that's a championship to me. You get to Omaha, that's big.
It's only 2 of 50 games this weekend, but can there, even this late in the season, be like a confidence boost because of who you beat, the pitchers that you went up against this weekend?
I mean, I don't know why you couldn't, because Tennessee, if you just go you go around the infield and the outfield and catching, and the pitchers, talent everywhere. They match up with anybody in the country. It's some years it doesn't go exactly like you scripted, I guess, because you know how good you are. But yeah, we can beat Tennessee. I mean, Creighton had a really good team, and we made them look like they were just average. They're a good team, and they thought they were going to win that regional. And watching video and some stuff, and I know some of their coaches, I saw them in the weight room before it started, and I said, you guys are going to beat Kansas tomorrow. And they're like, yeah, we know we are. And, that's what I see, I guess. That's what I do a little bit. I'm not always right, but they had a good team. And then, obviously, it's just different when you have to, 2.5, 3 weeks later, you're playing the same team you just finished with, defending national champion, and they're between you and, the trip to Omaha. It was, I thought the players handled it really well. I've tried to deflect all the outside noise from them, the pressure. I didn't want them to feel pressure. I just kept telling them that. I just want you to just play. And, they did it.
Is Jimenez okay?
Yeah, I think he wasn't his elbow, and that's where he had surgery before. It was more up in here. We think he might have just kind of cramped up a little bit, so he told me he was fine.
And then what can you say about maybe what Gibbler's done all year to bring him in, first one out of the pen in that situation?
We felt bad he didn't pitch last weekend. You know, we almost brought him in with the game in hand against Creighton just to get him in, so we get him in the regional because we knew we were going to need him this weekend. But I told Coach, I said, he's fine. You know, he'll be fine when we put him in. I mean, that's how much confidence I have in him now. He's hard to hit.
Hey, Coach, on Friday you mentioned between two teams like Tennessee and Arkansas, that execution would be so key. Can you mention maybe some things that especially stood out about your team the last 2 days?
I don't know. I mean, I think about how Kozeal scored on that wild pitch yesterday, or pass ball, whatever it was, but it didn't roll from me to the end of the table. But he did everything right, you know, and his lead, his walking lead, he kept his weight forward. And when he saw the ball down, he took a couple more steps, and he saw it scored out there, and he scored. That was huge. And then, you know, it seemed like yesterday that somebody fought for a walk, and then Davalan gets up, he gets a hit, 2 outs. You know, those are the little things. You know, as far as, you know, we didn't make any errors in 2 games. I mean, yesterday we didn't catch a ball. I guess scored it in there. Ball was sinking and diving to the left. Pitcher had a no-hitter at the time. Then they hit a 2-run homer. I saw that we didn't panic. We just came back in and did our thing. There weren't a lot of plays for me to, like, maybe evaluate that or judge, you know, kind of what your question is, because I don't think that Tennessee didn't do something that we did and that made a difference. I just think that, you know, maybe we got the hits that they didn't.
You know, Logan's dealt with some injury issues throughout the season, and then for him to have the day he had today, just what does that kind of say about him to come back from those struggles and have the performance he did?
He had a really good fall when he got here. Then he hurt his leg kind of very into fall ball. We dealt with it all off season. Like he was going to be okay, and then he tweaked it again, and it changes our lineup because I like that left-handed bat there. And after the right-handed hitter, and he's just a tough out. He fouls off pitches. He can bunt. He's just he's kind of that guy. He can hit, and he can hit left-handed pitchers. You don't have to move him because left-on-left situations down in the order. You know, to have him fight through it, he really wanted to play. This is his last season. He wanted to get healthy, and he rehabbed hard, and, you know, he'd be up front with me if it was bothering him, and I'd always talk to him during the games. You all right? You good? I mean, I could have put in another outfielder for defense that may be a little faster than him, but I just felt like I wanted him to be on the field when we won. I wanted him to celebrate.
How tough is it to sweep 5-0 to go to Omaha, and what does that say about this special group?
I think that, you know, I think we were all disappointed that we didn't win that game against Ole Miss in the tournament. I mean, we just didn't do anything. We got there, we worked out, we spend the night, we play, we lose, we come back. It's kind of like, did we even go? I mean, and you know, we didn't play good. You know, we didn't. That first inning, we had done that all year. We had 2 double play balls. We didn't turn any of them. It turned it into what, 3 runs, 5 runs? I don't remember. Yeah, and so we were just chasing them the whole game, and you know, but it gave me the opportunity to talk about how one player, one pitch, I always talk about, can change the whole game. And but yeah, to come back and focus in, because, you know, obviously the last couple of years the team didn't focus in. They were drifting, thinking about this, thinking about what am I going to be doing? Am I going to get drafted? Am I going to this? And this team, man, they stayed hooked up, locked up, and you know, and we've talked about that, but they did it. You know, it's easy, and they're talented, but it doesn't surprise me we won 5 in a row.
The decision they made to walk Davalan led the dominoes to the Grand Slam. Any surprise there? Maybe what does that say about Davalan?
Well, I mean, he was scary the last when he's on, and when it went 2-0, I mean, the coaches were over there going, he's going to get a fastball and he's going to cheat to it, and he did. Now they did a mound visit, so I didn't know if they would have maybe told him something like, hey, let's not throw a fastball down the middle. This guy's going to hammer it. And they did, and he hammered it, and jump-started us there. But, yeah, when that inning, came around, and that was probably still stuck in their brain a little bit. And he had a good day yesterday, got the big hit that gave us the 4-2 lead instead of 3-2, ended up being the difference in the game. And Eloy had gone out of the zone a little bit. I think he was pressing, trying to do too much, and then they hit him 1-2, and then he flipped one over the fence there, and all of a sudden we had a big lead. It was great.
What do you think of Cam going back to Omaha? I mean, he's clearly a, scruffy baseball player.
Yeah.
Who reads
He's a little bit of a
plays.
throwback. He's tough. He's not scared. He works hard. He knows that he doesn't have all the gifts that that some guys have, but he's strong and he has good hand-eye coordination. His hands are good, and he's a really good teammate and a good leader. I think I love it. I love having. You think about 2004, I had a guy named Bubs Merrill who's from Omaha, and he got to go back there. And Jake Duggar was on that team. He was from Omaha. These are kids that I kind of knew about when I took the job down here because I knew the state of Nebraska pretty good. And then we got to get them back there, and but yeah, it's always neat when a kid from the state of Nebraska, or especially Omaha, gets to go to the College World Series and be a player in that situation.
Hey, Dave, if you addressed this and I missed it, I'm sorry, but when Fisher grounded into that double play, how big of a momentum swing maybe in the game did you feel like that was?
It's huge. Base loaded, no outs. Maybe one of the best hitters in the country at the plate. Was that the situation? I may be thinking wrong now. It's a ground ball to second. We turn double play. Now they got a runner on third. They got one in. It's 2-1. And then we get that out. And the dugout, it erupted on our side, just giving up one. And that could have been the game right there. They hit a ball in the gap, and a little momentum with them, gets a little loud over there, it gets a little crazy.
You've always incorporated your families into these World Series celebrations. Does it mean anything extra to have grandkids with you tonight?
Yeah, it'll be good pictures for them to see down the road. Hopefully I'm here to share them with them. But, they're – I saw Claire starting to walk there. She just started walking this week. It's unbelievable. They're crawling everywhere. But, no, it's special. And just having my family there on the field is pretty cool. And we have a pretty tight-knit group of coaches and family. We get along, and my coaches are extremely loyal to me, and I'm loyal to them. And obviously their wives know that, and you can tell that we all genuinely care about each other, and it's really cool when we get to celebrate like that together.
You always say how hard it is to get up to Omaha, but you're going back to 2009. You've never gone more than 3 years without having a team go up there. What do you think that says about your program?
Yeah, it's exciting that that if you're a freshman and you came in here and you stayed here, you're going to probably get to go to Omaha once at least. We had a heartbreaker here in 21. I started thinking about it after the game, and I hadn't thought about it at all. I guess the last time that we've won a super regional here was 15. That's 10 years, I think. Am I right there? 19. Yeah, there we go. See, I was wrong. But it just seemed like a long time, especially when what happened in 21, and then we went on the road. The team was on a mission in 22. And that was sweet winning on the road. And I even mentioned it after the 21 loss that we're gonna make up for this one day, and we're gonna go on the road and steal one. And we did it the next year. And then the two tough years that played really good during the season, but we didn't feel like we had like a superstar team. We might have had a couple of really good players. We didn't have the depth, or we weren't the team that this one was. And like I said, it would have been hard to lose and not get to Omaha with this bunch. It would have been just almost heartbreaking for me and the coaches, because we all feel this way about the team.